Educational Psychology, University of Berkeley, after studying Shakuntala Devi very carefully, said that her skills with numbers were like those of a writer who did not think about the location of typewriter keys, or a musician who read music and simultaneously sounded the correct notes. The actual calculations are almost automatic, he said. He concluded that no one knew exactly how she did these things, nor did she. He is convinced it is not magic. As you can see, we are all set for Chandrasekhar, Miss Shakuntala Devi and our panel. Do stay tuned.
As Jay announced earlier, we are delighted to have in the show a lady of international stature, none other than the world-famous Shakuntala Devi. Welcome to the program, Shakuntala.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar. I'm very happy to be here.
You know, Shakuntala, you've been acclaimed all around the world. You know, you've been, on some of the biggest network television programs in different parts of the world, in various countries. When you arrived in Toronto, the Globe and Mail, the Toronto Star, everybody has given you a tremendous red carpet treatment. So we're very happy to have you in the show with us today.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here with you today.
You know, we've been following your progress for a number of years, and you never seems to amaze anybody. You always come up with something new, something different everywhere. Tell me about this incredible skill that you have developed. When did you first realize that you had the skill?
I've been doing calculations in my head almost from the time I was 3 years old.
From the time you were 3 years old?
Yes, I was 3.5 when I gave my first performance
Was
at
this
the
hereditary?
university. I don't think so, because on my mother's side, my mother's father was a very well-known astrologer. Well, astrology also needs mathematical calculations.
I see.
And of course, I come from a priestly class, Brahmin class.
I see.
And all my relations are priests and, doing God's work.
I see.
So it's actually a God's gift. It's a divine boon, I think.
I see. Tell me something. How do you define mathematics?
Mathematics is a concept, actually. You see, a lot of people tell me I'm no good in mathematics. I don't agree, because mathematics is not just being able to add, subtract, multiply. It is a concept. It is the greatest logic. I think, is the only truth in the world, from what I can see.
I see. Tell me about the Guinness Book of World Records. Not too many people are in the Guinness Book of World Records for doing something that is very noteworthy,
Yes.
So how did you feel when you received, when you broke the world record?
I was quite happy, and I felt very grateful to God that He has given me such a great gift.
Now, can you reenact that scene? What exactly, what gave you the Guinness Book of World Records? What did you do that day?
I did a multiplication. I was asked to multiply a 13-digit number by another 13-digit number. And I did it. At the time I did it, I wasn't bothered. There were nearly about 1,000 people present. This was at the Imperial College of Science and Technology in London.
Incredible.
And I don't think I very much bothered about the Guinness Book or the audience or anything. The only thing I wanted to do is multiply and give the right answer.
And somebody asks you to multiply a 11-digit number. First of all, I can't even remember a 11-digit number. Now, you have to multiply a 13-digit number by another 13-digit number. That means you have to come up with a 26-digit answer.
Right.
And you do this all within the, 30, 40 seconds.
Yes.
So you're like, so what ticks inside? Tell me, what is the process? What happens exactly?
Nobody can tell what ticks inside the head. I don't think any human beings can tell what goes on inside the head. But I just get the answer.
But it is something that you have inborn in you, that it just has to happen, and you're able to do it.
A strange thing happened. I don't know. I don't remember as far back as the day I was born. As soon as I was born, the elders in my family spotted the star and the trident in my palm. That's the only thing. There were no other lines excepting this.
I see.
So one of the very old members of my family, he was a priest in the temple. He commented that this baby will have a very, very great gift from God. I don't know what.
I see.
Everyone thought that probably I'll be a musician,
I see.
or a dancer or something. Of course, musician in a very small way. I play flute, you see.
Yes, I heard about that.
I never became a very well-known musician or anything.
I see.
But I do believe music and mathematics are connected in a way,
I see. Tell me about the connection between mathematics and astrology.
Well, astrology, yes, this is a very interesting question. You see, in order to be a good astrologer, you have to have excellent mathematical knowledge. In order to cast out a precise chart, you need the help of mathematics. So if you're good in mathematics, automatically you will be good in casting a perfect horoscope.
Oh, I see.
But in order to be able to guide people and help people, you need what is known as siddhi. Siddhi is intuition. Intuition is very important. Otherwise, why not? Even computers can do horoscopes, you see.
I see, I see.
So, if these two things are combined, then you could be a good astrologer.
I see. What's your feeling about computers?
I don't know. I never gave it a thought because
I bet you don't have one either.
No, actually speaking, the way I look at it is man is still superior to computers because it is man who discovered the computer. Computer did not discover man. You see?
I see. But but people have described you as being faster than computer in certain calculations, and I'm sure that a lot of people must be quite amazed about that. About Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists of the world, he was brilliant in certain field, but he had difficulty distinguishing between his left and right shoes very often, I believe. So people who are exceptionally brilliant in some area, they sometimes they can't remember something very small. Does that happen to you as well?
Well, I'll put it this way: if I'm really preoccupied, and I'm thinking of numbers or something like that, then I do feel that I can't think of smaller things.
I see.
But that, I suppose, is with everybody, even government officers, if they're in a hurry to go to some conference or something,
right.
Executives and all, they are bound to forget it. Only thing is, if they did it, no one thinks it's abnormal or funny. If I did it, they think it's very funny.
That's a good explanation. Shakuntala, you're performing throughout the world. You're going from, you've been traveling from country to country sometimes.
Yes.
Entertaining some very distinguished audiences. There's heads of states, prime ministers, presidents, and of course universities, colleges, and and high schools and institutions. Tell us about this.
Well, I have been performing in practically all the countries in the world. Including, well, let me put it this way. I've been around the whole world. I've been in each and every country in the world, excluding the Eastern Europe, Russia and China. You may ask me why not, The only explanation I can give is I'm spreading the message of God. I have this divine gift in me. And I wouldn't know how to do it in a communist country because basically they don't believe in God, right?
I see, I see.
That is one thing. That would be the main thing.
Suppose, you walk into a university, atmosphere in Toronto. What exactly would you demonstrate? Approximately, your show lasts for about an hour?
One to even 1.5 hours, sometimes even 2 hours.
I see. What can people expect, when you go in there?
I start with some small problems, and then I start doing big problems. And people don't know how the time passes.
I'm sure.
I mean, one would think that sitting through a mathematical session would be very boring, but they sit in my session for 2 hours, and then when they come out, say, "Is that all?" They ask, and that's the greatest compliment to me.
I see. In fact, we have a panel of people that we're going to be, bringing on the show, and and we've got some very interesting guests on the show who are going to be joining us here.
Yes.
And I'm sure they have some delightful questions that they're going to be talking to you about and asking you. And we have mathematics, the head of the department for mathematics from Upper Canada College,
I see. I'm
which
honored.
is one of the most prestigious institutions here in Canada.
I see.
And we have some students from there. We also have students from the University of Toronto.
Oh, wonderful.
Both from mathematics, commerce, and economics, and other subjects, and from other fields.
Wonderful.
So they'll be joining us and they'll be asking you some questions. But before we go to that, now I just want to ask you about, you had an interesting meeting at one time. I heard, through some source, that you met Ravi Shankar for the first time in an airport. That was a very funny story, I believe. Tell us a little bit about that.
I was waiting for this late night flight in Bombay, and I was very tired. Next to me came a very tired looking man. He was also looking very bored and very tired. He came and sat next to me. He was carrying an instrument with him. And I just thought that, well, at least if I communicated with somebody, time would pass. The flight was already, it was a late night flight, and they announced it's going to be even 1 hour later. So I just turned around and said, "Are you going to Calcutta?" He said, "Yes." "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm also going to Calcutta." I saw this instrument. I just asked him, "What's this?" He said, "Sitar." So, "You know how to play this?" He said, "Yes, I play a little bit of that." then I said, after some time, I said, "I'm a very great fan of Ravi Shankar. And I like the one he did, the Jugalbandi with Yehudi menu in." I told him. He said, "Oh, you like it?" I said, "Yes, very much." And after some time I said, I mean, you should, if you're really fond of sitar, you should get a few lessons from Ravi Shankar. I told him, then he said, I am Ravi Shankar.
Wonderful.
So that was that. Then I told him, see, I'm going to be relating this incident for the rest of my life. And then we both got into the bus that takes us to the aircraft. You see. On the way, he asked, incidentally, may I know your name? I said, my name is Shakuntala Devi. Then he said, I am going to be relating this incident for the rest of my life.
That's a lovely story. Incidentally, for the benefit of viewers, we're doing an exclusive special with Shakuntala Devi, an outstanding scholar of international stature. She's in the Guinness Book of World Records. We have an exciting show with a group of a panel right now. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're doing a special on Shakuntala Devi, the internationally well-known person who is in the Guinness Book of World Records. Joining us as part of a panel here is Mr. Roger Allen. He's the head of the Department for Mathematics from the Upper Canada College. Also joining us is Mr. Samin Siddiqui, a third-year student from the University of Toronto who's taking Commerce and Economics with a subsidiary, I guess, in Mathematics. He was born in Toronto and his parents came originally from Pakistan. And also with us is Mr. Christopher Angel, a member of the leaving class, an outstanding, brilliant student, I believe, from the Upper Canada College. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And we also have Mr. Baj Bedi, the president of Computerite Business Systems, a leading computer firm in the Toronto community, and he's going to be helping us with respect to our panel discussion here as well. Welcome to the program, Baj.
Thank you, Jan.
Roger, tell me a little bit about Upper Canada College.
Well, it's a private independent school that's been founded in 1829, and I think it has a very strong reputation as an academic institution, and well, it's quite difficult to get into, and I think most of the students there enjoy it very, very much. It has a pretty vigorous and strong academic program and strong extracurricular program as well.
Excellent. It's a pleasure having you on the show.
Yes, thank you.
Samin, tell me about yourself, a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a student at the University of Toronto, specializing in commerce and economics, and I enjoy microcomputing and playing sports.
Have you heard of had you heard of Shakuntala Devi before?
Unfortunately, no.
That's good. So you're looking forward to seeing her today.
Very much so.
Wonderful. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Christopher.
I think everything Mr. Allen said is true about the school.
What are your plans? I understand you're part of the leaving class now.
Well, I hope to go to university next year. And right now I'm taking 2 maths and economics, so I hope to do economics in university also.
Wonderful. It's a great pleasure having you in the show with us. Now, who's ready to go with the first question, by the way, to Shakuntala Devi?
Well, shall I start?
Why
Okay.
don't you do that?
Okay.
We'll rather start with the head of the Department for Mathematics.
Right, okay, yes. Now, I wonder if you'd like to have a go at this one.
I think it is best, the thing is written on the blackboard.
All right,
give
then.
it to
Okay.
Pete.
Well, I've got it written out here. Perhaps I can just give it to you, and you can put it on the board.
Baj, would you please do us a favor and write it on the board?
Very much so.
Okay.
No need to write the words. No, please don't write the words. It confuses me. Kindly do me a favor. No commas and no cube root like that. Just put a root over sign. I should be seeing only the numbers and nothing else. 331, 373, 331, 373, 888. This is the question. Would you put the root over sign so that I know it's a root? Yeah. No, put a 3 there, please. The answer to this number, 692.
Yes, that's
Is that correct?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
that
correct.
is
Thank you very
wonderful.
much. 692. That's the answer. Okay?
That's great.
Amazing.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Now tell me something. In normal circumstances, to calculate that, suppose the computers were not available, what are the alternative methods of doing this?
Well, you'd have to